Hey everyone, welcome back to A Smarter Way to Retire, the podcast where we help you build a confident and vibrant retirement. I'm Tony Leonardi, your CFP professional from Newtown, Connecticut, and today is Friday, November 14th. I had a fantastic birthday weekend. Friday night, I went out to dinner with my parents and my sister. Saturday night, Lori took me out for a very nice dinner in Fairfield. And Sunday, we had the family at our house for our traditional Sunday family dinner. Pasta, we did steaks on the fire pits. Wood-fired steaks was delicious. And there's just something about gathering around that fire and having Sunday dinner that just feels right. I'm already looking forward to Thanksgiving when both of my boys will be home. Speaking of my boys, they sent me a gift for my birthday, this beautiful new podcast microphone. How does it sound? I hope it sounds a little bit better for you. Let me know. And, having Sunday dinner, which is a tradition in our family, just reminds me of why we plan so carefully. Because it's not just about the money, it's about the memories we create. And speaking of planning, today we're diving deep into one of the most powerful and most misunderstood retirement strategies, Roth conversions. Last week, we covered year-end tax planning, and we mentioned Roth conversions as one of the 5 strategies. This week, we're going to do a comprehensive deep dive on Roth conversions, who should do them, who shouldn't, how to implement them step by step, and the mistakes you absolutely must avoid. So here's something I hear all the time. Tony, everyone says I should do Roth conversions. What do you think? Should I do it? And my answer is always the same. Well, it depends, maybe. But first, let me show you your future, because here's the truth that most people miss. A Roth conversion only makes sense if you anticipate being in a higher tax bracket at some point in the future. If you're going to be in the same bracket or lower, conversions usually don't make financial sense. And the only way to know what tax bracket you'll be in the future is you need to look into the future. You need some kind of crystal ball. You need a comprehensive financial model, what I call your time machine. That lets you look into your financial future and see what tax brackets you may actually be in. Let's not just guess at it. Let me tell you about 2 clients. We'll call them Mike and Sarah. Both are 62, both retired, both have about $800,000 in traditional IRAs. Both came to me asking about Roth conversions. For Mike, I ran his financial model and discovered something interesting. He and his wife are currently in the 22% tax bracket, and with his pension and Social Security, are going to keep him solidly in the 24% tax bracket throughout retirement. When his RMDs start at 75, they're barely going to budge his tax bracket. He'll still be in the 24% bracket. So converting now at 22 to save 2% later, that might not be worth the hassle and the cash flow hit. Sarah's situation is a bit different. She's single, no pension, planning to delay Social Security until 70. For the next 8 years, her income is going to be minimal, putting her in the 12% bracket. But when RMDs kick in at 75, combined with Social Security, she's going to jump up to the 32% bracket. She'll pay 12% now to avoid paying 32% in the future. That's the perfect scenario for a Roth conversion. Same starting point for Mike and Sarah, but opposite answers. The difference is the financial modeling showed us the future. Without that model, you're just guessing. And guessing with 6-figure decisions can be very expensive. A good financial model shows you your income year by year for the next 20 or 30 years. Exactly what tax brackets you may be in, when RMDs start and how large they'll be, how Social Security will impact you, how Medicare IRMA premiums will be affected. And what happens if tax rates change in the future? While the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, the rates were made permanent in July, Congress can always change tax laws, and they often do. If rates increase down the road, you'll be locked in with today's lower rates. By the way, IRMA IRMAA stands for Income Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. IRMA is not your friend that you play pickleball with. It's an extra surcharge added to your Medicare Part B, your medical insurance, and your Part D, your prescription drug coverage. So if your income exceeds certain thresholds, think of it as Medicare's version of high income tax on healthcare. We talked about IRMA a few weeks ago. Roth conversion planning isn't just about taxes today versus taxes tomorrow. It's about seeing the whole picture and making decisions based on data, not on hunches. So, who are the ideal candidates for Roth conversions? Perfect storm, early retirees. If you retire at 60 or 62 and won't take Social Security until 67 or 70, you've got a golden window of opportunity. Your income may drop dramatically, especially if you're living off savings. Maybe you're in the 12 or 22% bracket now. But when RMDs start at 75, combined with Social Security, you could find yourself in the 32% bracket or higher. If you can save 10 or 20% in taxes by converting, that could be a big win for you. These are the years to convert, the low tax years. You're paying taxes in the low brackets now to avoid paying taxes in the higher brackets later. Common sense. How about high earners that are still working? Could be a little counterintuitive, but hear me out. If you're in your peak earning years now, let's say you're making 400,000, you might think, "Oh, I'm in the 35% bracket. It's a terrible time to convert." But your financial model might show that when you retire, your income drops and drops so much that your RMDs will never push you above 24%. In that case, don't convert now. Wait until you retire. Then convert at 24% instead of 35%, especially if your model shows that your RMDs will eventually push you back up to the 35% bracket somewhere down the road. Take advantage of that window of opportunity. A good financial model will highlight this opportunity for you. How about people expecting tax rate increases? Right now, we're operating under the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act rates that were made permanent under the One Big Beautiful Bill passed back in July. The 22% bracket is here to stay. It's permanent. Well, as permanent as things can be in DC. Congress changes tax laws and they do it often. If you think rates are going to go up in the future, and history suggests that they eventually will, converting now locks in today's rates. It's a bit of a leap of faith that tax rates will increase at some point in the future. But if you're confident and you want to take that leap, it could pay off in the end. How about those that have large IRAs? If you've got, let's say, $2 million in a traditional IRA, your RMDs are going to be massive. At 75, you'll be pulling out over $80,000 a year, and it will grow from there as you age. That's on top of Social Security, pensions, any other income you might have. You could easily find yourself in the 35 or 37% bracket. Converting portions of your IRA now, even at 24 or 32%, might save you from 37% later. How about people who don't need the money? If you're planning to leave your IRA to your kids, here's the kicker. They have 10 years to empty their inherited IRAs. If they're in their peak earning years when they inherit, let's say they're 45, 55 years old, making good money, they'll pay their higher tax rates on those distributions. Converting to Roths now means they inherit tax-free money. You pay the taxes at your likely lower rate, and they get the money tax-free. This is still a case of playing the tax brackets, but instead of playing your own brackets, you're comparing your brackets to your kids' brackets, converting at the lower bracket rates. Could make a lot of sense. Now let's talk about who should avoid Roth conversions because they're not for everyone. And this is just as important. If your financial model shows that you'll be in a lower bracket in retirement than you are now, conversions probably don't make sense. You'll be paying higher taxes now to avoid lower taxes later. That's backwards. It does not make any sense. How about those who need every dollar? Roth conversions require paying taxes up front. If you don't have the cash outside of your IRA to pay those taxes, you're forced to withhold from the conversion itself. That's inefficient and defeats the purpose. For example, you convert $100,000 and withhold $22,000 for taxes. You only moved $78,000 to the Roth. You paid taxes on $100,000, but you only got $78,000 working for you. That's not ideal. How about people on ACA subsidies? If you're retired before age 65 and getting Affordable Care Act health insurance with premium subsidies, Roth conversion can be a disaster. The conversion counts as income, potentially wiping out your subsidies and costing you thousands in higher premiums. Your financial model can show you this. Maybe wait until you're on Medicare at age 65, or hold off for a few months to see if Congress changes the ACA subsidies as they're threatening to do now. How about those who are near the Medicare IRMA thresholds, income-related monthly adjustment amounts, IRMA? We talked about this earlier. It means higher income people pay more for Medicare. The thresholds are $103,000 for singles, $206,000 for marrieds. If you're just below these thresholds, a Roth conversion can push you over, adding $800 to as much as $6,000 annually to your Medicare premiums. Your model needs to account for this. How about people with after-tax IRA basis? This is important. Remember the pro rata rule we talked about in our last episode? If you've made non-deductible IRA contributions over the years, every conversion pulls out a proportionate mix of taxable and non-taxable money. You can't cherry pick. This doesn't mean don't convert. It just means it's more complicated and you need professional help. So here's your step-by-step implementation guide. So you've determined that conversions might make sense. Here's how you do it. Step 1, run your financial model. We're in November now, and you should know most of your current year income. Model out the next 20 to 30 years. Identify the low income years where conversions might make sense. If you don't have a financial model, let me know. I'd be happy to help you build one. Step 2 is calculate your conversion budget. This is how much room you have in your current tax bracket before jumping into the next one. For example, you're married filing jointly. Your current income after deductions is $120,000. You're in the 22% bracket, which goes up to $206,700. You have $86,700 of room left in that 22% bracket. That's your conversion budget. Convert up to that amount and you stay at 22%. Convert more and part of it gets taxed at 24%. That's not ideal. Step 3, coordinate with your CPA. This is not a DIY project. Your CPA needs to review your overall tax situation, tax implications, because some states tax conversions heavily. Whether you need to adjust estimated tax payments, if you have after-tax basis or Form 8606, talk to your CPA. Step 4, you execute the conversion before December 31st. Call your IRA custodian. Tell them you want to convert X amount of dollars from your traditional IRA to a Roth IRA. They'll send you the paperwork to process this. Make sure it settles by December 31st. That's the hard deadline. Step 5, pay the taxes. Ideally, pay from outside funds. If you convert $86,000 at 22%, that's about $19,000 in federal taxes. Pay it from your savings or your checking account, not from the IRA itself. If you must withhold from the conversion, understand you're reducing the amount that gets to grow tax-free. Again, not ideal. Step 6, set aside money for April. If you don't adjust your estimated payments, you may owe when you file. Set that money aside now. Don't spend it and then scramble to find it in April. Step 7, track your 5-year clock. This is important. Each conversion has its own 5-year clock. You need to wait 5 years or until 59 and a half, whichever comes first, before you can withdraw the converted principal without penalty. Track this carefully. The penalty is 10% of the converted principal if you withdraw before the 5-year clock expires and you're under age 59 and a half. There are some exceptions to the penalty and ways to avoid it. If you're under 59 and a half and within the 5 years, you avoid the penalty if the money is used for a first-time home purchase with a $10,000 limit, qualified education expenses, disability, death, or medical expenses, or substantially equal periodic payments. Step 8, review your plan annually. This isn't a 1-year, one-and-done type of strategy. Every year, review your situation. Did your income change? Did tax laws change? Adjust your conversion strategy accordingly. I have clients that are on 5, 6, 7-year conversion plans, and we have just the right amount of conversion scheduled each year to max out their bracket, but not so much that we bust through the bracket. But of course, we review that every year before pulling the trigger. Now, let me share some of the biggest mistakes that people make when it comes to Roth conversions. Mistake number 1, converting without a plan. Someone tells them Roth conversions are great. So they convert $200,000 all at once, jumping from the 22% bracket to the 37% bracket. They pay $74,000 in taxes when they could have spread it over 3 years and paid $44,000 total. Your financial model will help prevent this. It shows you the optimal amount to convert each year. Mistake number 2, forgetting about the pro rata rule. Some think they can convert just their after-tax basis and avoid taxes. Nope, the IRS aggregates all of your traditional IRAs and applies the pro rata rule. Every conversion is part taxable, part non-taxable, if you have non-taxable assets, based on your total balance. This is why working with a CFP and a CPA is essential. We don't want you to make that mistake. Mistake number 3, not considering state taxes. Some focus on federal tax rates only and forget that they live in California or Connecticut, where state taxes are high. A 24% federal conversion might really cost 30% or more with state taxes included. Your model needs to account for state taxes. Mistake number 4, triggering IRMA unnecessarily. They convert $50,000, which pushes them $10,000 over the IRMA threshold. That $10,000 costs them $2,400 in higher Medicare premiums for 2 years, $4,800 total. If they converted a smaller amount, say $40,000 instead, they would have saved that $4,800. Your model should show you where these IRMA cliffs are, so be careful. Mistake number 5, thinking that you can reverse it. Since 2018, Roth conversions are irrevocable. You can't change your minds. If the market tanks after you convert, you're stuck. If you lose your job or your income drops unexpectedly, you're stuck. That's why timing and planning matter so much. Mistake number 6, converting too much too fast. They hear tax rates might go up. They panic and convert everything in 1 year. They pay massive taxes, blow through multiple tax brackets, and trigger IRMA. Not fantastic. Slow and steady wins the race when it comes to Roth conversions. Your financial model shows you the multi-year optimal path. Mistake number 7, not having cash to pay the taxes. They convert $100,000, withhold $22,000 for taxes, and only $78,000 makes it into the Roth. That $22,000 could have been growing tax-free for decades. If you don't have the outside cash, maybe conversions aren't right for you yet. Or you can convert smaller amounts. As I think about our traditional Sunday family dinners, pasta, steaks over the fire pit, everyone gathered around, I'm reminded that financial planning isn't about complicated strategies for their own sake. It's about making smart decisions today that give you the financial freedom and the flexibility tomorrow. It's about having a little bit more money to spend on the people and the experiences that really matter to you. Roth conversions can be an incredibly powerful tool, but only if your financial model shows you that you'll be in higher tax brackets later on down the road. You have the cash to pay the taxes now, and you're working with professionals who understand the rules. You have to be patient and strategic, not reactive and panicked. If you've been thinking about Roth conversions and you don't have a comprehensive financial model, that's step number one, not the conversion itself, the modeling. You need a good financial model to pull this off effectively and efficiently. Book a consultation with me at leonardifamilywealthcare.com/assessment. We'll build your financial model, look at your future tax brackets, and determine if Roth conversions make sense for your unique situation. Grab our 2025 Retirement Reset Checklist at leonardifamilywealthcare.com. It includes a probability of success meter and walks you through the key planning steps. If you haven't yet, pick up a copy of my book, A Smarter Way to Retire, 10 Steps Towards a Confident Financial Future. Chapter 7 covers tax-efficient withdrawal strategies in depth. Follow us on Instagram at Tony Leonardi CFP and on Facebook at Leonardi Family Wealthcare. Subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube, and please leave a review. And let me know if you like the new microphone. Next week, we'll be talking about required minimum distribution strategies. We have 7 weeks left in 2025. If Roth conversions make sense for you, now is the time to act. Plan smart, retire happy, and we'll see you next week.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Osaic Wealth, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Osaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth. The opinions expressed herein are for general information only and is not necessarily the opinions of Osaic Wealth or its representatives. Investing is subject to risk, including loss of principal invested. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. No strategy can assure a profit nor protect against loss. It is not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. Please consult your financial professional, attorney, or tax advisor with regard to your individual situation.